Coming at you with another Naruto video today, and it's an interesting one because we got Killer B, but he's only using his swords. No tail beast chakra, no chakra, man, no chakra. This man's not using any chakra. That's the sanctions on him, right? No chakra, just swordsmanship, just his kenjutsu skills because he's fighting against Mifune of the Land of Iron, the leader of the samurai. You know, So how's this gonna go? One round, um, no holds bars, only sword skills, right? Mifune only uses sword skills. He don't use nothing else. So Killer B is being nerfed by a lot, right? I mean, he's being, brought down to like Mifune's level. You know, and this fight is not one-sided, um, but it's still, gonna be interesting to see some of your reactions to this video. Comment your reaction to what I said, right? So strength goes to Killer B. Still, Killer B is still stronger than Mifune, like in straight striking power and lifting power, right? That's all Killer B. He still got him like that. And then speed too. I still want to give the speed to Killer B. Even without harnessing any, eight tails chakra, he's still fast. Durability, I give it to Mifune, because he has that armor. That's why I give it to him. Killer B don't have, he ain't using any chakra at all, man. He has to let that shit just. I know that's what people are like, oh no, but that's the sanctions on this fight. Endurance goes to Mifune, because this is a sword fight. This is like, he can't drop his swords and start using his hands and shit like that, boy. This is a sword fight. Gotta listen and know what the title of this video is about. Endurance goes to Mifune. Intelligence goes to Killer B. Now, Killer B seems like a fool, but he's actually smart. He uses that as a deceptive act. This man's smart. He knows that Mifune is like that. Mifune has experience. He has the category of experience. That's all he's done his whole life. He grew up in the Land of Iron. He became their leader. He fought against Hanzo. He lost, and then he trained even harder. Then eventually he defeated Hanzo when he was recouped as a reanimated zombie. Close skills go to Mifune. I don't see him throwing his sword. He's only got one sword, right? I don't see him throwing it. Now, I do see Killer B throwing them 8 swords, throwing them around like they're fucking, darts or something, like, running back to him and, doing all that. And that's why he gets the range skills, right? Recoup, I got Killer B with Recoup, recovery, you could give that to either of them. You don't have 8 tails chakra during this fight. But, younger people recover better than older people. Mifune is older than Killer B. Like, come on, man, you know that. Hacks go to Mifune because he knows sword arts, Bato Jutsu and all that shit. Anything that's of the sword, he knows about that. He'll even take note that, Killer B is an 8 sword style, like, basically master. He's never seen shit like that. He's, like, intrigued fighting Killer B. Environment's it's gonna be held in the fucking, Hidden Leaf Village, like, the area where they do the tuning exams. It's gonna be like a opener kind of fight. Those two are gonna fight open, before like an exam or some shit in the Hidden Leaf. It's like neutral ground, but I still give it to Mifune because Mifune knows how to fight with sword anyway. That being said, Mifune wins that fight high difficulty against Killer B. I just see him knowing a way to counter all those swords. He was able to counter, Hanzo's little kunai and chain. He was like, I think he can do something like that with all those 8 swords. He can just and then run up on him with the finishing move. But it's still a tough fight because Killer B hasn't beaten some of these categories. But overall, I got Mifune winning this shit. You know, no eight tails chakra, just as straight up Kenjutsu with the eight sword style. No jutsus are being used, just sword skills. Mifune got that shit. More isn't always better, y'all. And this is a fight that shows that Mifune wins high diff. We'll say high to extreme diff. Nah, fuck that high difficulty. Be cool, call in the corner, and let me know what you think about that in the comments.